Under properties, we will be discussing about physical and chemical properties of acids and bases. Coming to the physical properties, acids are sour in taste. Acid changes blue litmus paper to red. Acid reacts with base to form salt. Strong acids are corrosive in nature. On the other side with base, they are bitter in taste. Base changes red litmus paper to blue. Base reacts with acid to form salt. Strong bases are also corrosive in nature. We know that acid reacts with base to give salt and water. This reaction is also an example for exothermic reaction because energy gets released during the formation of the products. According to Arrhenius' definition, acid are substances which donates H plus and bases are substances which donates OH minus. When we take required amount of acid and base so that number of H plus is equal to number of OH minus, complete reaction between these two ions happen resulting in the formation of water. This is what we call it as neutralization. Imagine we take excess of acid than required. At that time, we will have concentration of H plus more than the concentration of OH minus. In this scenario, after the reaction, some amount of H plus will be remaining as such in the solution. This situation is called as partial neutralization. So, coming to the definition, neutralization is a chemical reaction in which an acid and base quantitatively react to form salt and water. Key point is, to reach the neutralization point, H plus and OH minus are to be taken in equal number or equal concentration. Knowing that neutralization is an exothermic reaction, let us consider two reactions. 1 mole of HCl reacting with 1 mole of sodium hydroxide giving salt and water. 1 mole of sulfuric acid reacting with 2 moles of sodium hydroxide giving salt and water. 1 mole of HCl will give 1 mole of H plus. 1 mole of sodium hydroxide will give 1 mole of OH minus because HCl is a monobasic acid and sodium hydroxide is a monoacidic base. If we consider sulfuric acid sodium hydroxide reaction, we know that sulfuric acid is a dibasic acid. So, 1 mole of sulfuric acid will give 2 moles of H plus. Sodium hydroxide is a monoacidic base, so it will give 1 mole of OH minus. But since we are considering 2 moles of sodium hydroxide, together it will give 2 moles of OH minus. Let us consider the energy released with HCl reaction as E1. And let the energy released with sulfuric acid reaction be E2. With HCl reaction, 1 mole of H plus is reacting with 1 mole of OH minus. Here, 2 moles of H plus is reacting with 2 moles of OH minus. So, we can tell E2 will be equal to 2 times E1 or E1 equal to E2 divided by 2, meaning amount of energy released in the first reaction is equal to half of the energy which gets released in the second reaction. And related to this energy, we are having a definition called as heat of neutralization. Amount of heat liberated when 1 mole of H plus reacts with 1 mole of OH minus. According to this definition, E1 is heat of neutralization or E2 by 2 is heat of neutralization. E2 cannot be called as heat of neutralization because this is associated with 2 moles of H plus and 2 moles of OH minus. However, acid reacts with base to give salt and water. Acid also reacts with basic oxide to give the same products, that is salt and water. So, both of these reactions can be called as neutralization reaction. Most of the basic oxides are metallic oxides. Example, when HCl reacts with sodium hydroxide, we know we get sodium chloride salt and water. When sulfuric acid is made to react with copper oxide, which is a metallic oxide, so basic in nature, this gives copper sulfate salt and water as products. So we can generalize the statement. Acid reacts with base or basic oxide to give salt and water as products. Acid reacts with active metal like zinc, magnesium, etc. to give salt and hydrogen as products. Released hydrogen gas can be collected and tested. When a burning candle is brought near this hydrogen gas, it burns with a pop sound. Let us consider the reaction now. We have chosen hydrochloric acid and these active metals. HCl reacts with zinc to form zinc chloride salt and releases hydrogen gas. With magnesium, magnesium chloride salt. With aluminium, aluminium chloride salt. With iron, it is ferrous chloride salt where iron is in +2 oxidation state. If you balance the equation, 2, 2 here, 6, 2, 2 and 3, 2 HCl, it's balanced. To understand the capacity of metals to release hydrogen from acids, we need to look into their activity series. This is metal activity series. Metal which is listed at the top is highly electropositive in nature, meaning they are capable of losing electrons very easily, because of which they can act as best reducing agent. Metal which is listed down over here, they are least reactive, meaning least electropositive in nature, so they are worse reducing agent. We have taken hydrogen as the reference. All metals which are listed above hydrogen are capable of releasing hydrogen when they react with acid. Metals which are listed in the first block over here at the top, they are capable of releasing hydrogen not only from acid but also from water in the liquid state and in the steam form. Metals which are there in the second block, they are capable of releasing hydrogen from acid and from steam. Metals which are listed in the third block over here, they are capable of releasing hydrogen only from acid, not from water. Acid reacts with salt to give another acid and another salt. Example, when HCl reacts with carbonate salt, it gives us water, carbon dioxide and salt sodium chloride. Carbon dioxide in water is nothing but carbonic acid, that is H2CO3. So, acid reacts with the salt to give another acid and another salt. In the same manner, when acid is treated with bicarbonate salt, it gives us the same products: carbon dioxide, water, and sodium sulfate salt. When sulfuric acid is treated with sodium chloride below 200 degrees Celsius, it gives us hydrogen chloride and sodium bisulfate. In the same manner, when sulfuric acid is treated with sodium nitrate, it gives us nitric acid and sodium bisulfate. For both of these reactions, temperature has to be maintained below 200. Otherwise, instead of sodium bisulfate, we may get sodium sulfate as byproduct. Just like the acid, base also reacts with salt to give another base and another salt. When sodium hydroxide is treated with ammonium chloride, we get base ammonium hydroxide and the salt sodium chloride. In place of ammonium salt, if we use metallic salt, alkali will give insoluble base and another salt. Example, sodium hydroxide reacts with copper 2 chloride, giving insoluble copper 2 hydroxide precipitate and sodium chloride salt. Copper hydroxide is a blue color precipitate. To write down these products, we just have to exchange the ions between reactants. Sodium is +1, hydroxyl is -1, copper is 2 plus, each chlorine is -1. If we exchange the ions, Na plus will combine with Cl minus, giving NaCl salt. Cu2 plus will combine with hydroxyl. Cu2 plus valency is 2, hydroxyl valency is 1. If we exchange, we get copper 2 hydroxide, which is a blue color precipitate. When sodium hydroxide is treated with zinc sulfate, we get zinc hydroxide precipitate and sodium sulfate solution. Zinc hydroxide is a gelatinous white precipitate. In the same manner, when sodium hydroxide is treated with ferric chloride, because iron is in +3 oxidation state, it gives us ferric hydroxide precipitate and sodium chloride salt. Ferric hydroxide is a reddish brown precipitate. When pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, it is called as acid rain. Mixture of acids contribute to this acid rain. Due to the industrial activities, oxides of nitrogen and sulfur enters atmosphere and reacts with water and get converted to respective acids. This is the way these acids enter water cycle. Whenever it rains, these acids also come down along with the rainwater and reaches water body and lowers its pH. We can see the consequence of acid rain in these two pictures.